Welcome to Movimiento Latino. As you can see, we have a very special guest today. 1993-94 Fresno State MVP Carl Ray Harris. Carl, thank you very much. Is it Carl Ray or Carl?
Carl Ray Harris.
Carl Ray Harris, thank you for joining our show.
No problem.
And I know I remember you, and anyone anywhere near my age obviously remembers the impact you had on Fresno State. So our first question to you is, tell us a little bit about your experience with Fresno State.
It was a great experience. Started out at Washington High School, got recruited by Fresno State. It's like I found out in high school I had dyslexic. So I was dyslexic, so I went into that and didn't think I was going to be able to go to college, but the school district helped me out a lot, and they got me classes where I was able to compete and to be able to take the test. And I was ashamed at first, but it was something that I was born with, so I dealt with it and I learned how to work with it, and I was able to get a scholarship at Fresno State.
Tell us about one of your favorite memories about your college career.
It was just a big experience with the basketball, just meeting new people. My brother, he played football for Fresno State at the same time I was there, and it was just a learning experience.
So I was looking up some of your stats because that's what I do, and I remember the game you had against USC, 30 points. I believe 7 points in the last minute or so to kind of clinch the game in the NIT tournament. What does it feel to be able to close out such a big tournament like that?
It was, we always got looked down because we was the West, but playing against USC, I knew the coach George Graveling, and it was a big experience. I was real nervous playing against USC, kind of big, but once I got on the court, it was another different story.
Right, and I know some of your teammates are probably going to watch this, so this is a tough question. Here it comes. Who are the top two players behind you at Fresno State during your era?
I'll say Will Hooker and Todd Bernard.
You realize you just won me a bet right now. I don't gamble, by the way. My friends and I were just talking about this over our fantasy football draft, and we were talking about your impact in the Central Valley because you're one of the names that comes up automatically when you talk about the top Fresno State players of all time. What does it feel to know, maybe people sort of after time forget what we look like, but they definitely remember your name. What does that feel like?
It feels good that I'm in the school district now because it carries a long way with when it's good, you can get on get your phone when the kids talking mess. Hey man, I can Google myself. What can you do?
Right.
You need to get there. You can't Google yourself, so I'll do it and I'll show them, and it's exciting to me a little bit, but I don't take it that way. I just try to help other people out.
It's a learning lesson,
yeah.
Of course. Tell us about your career after Fresno State.
Well, I went and tried out with Chicago Bulls. I ended up getting hurt. Then I went to my first team that I went to in Frankfurt, Germany, and I played over there for a while. And I just traveled the Europe circuit. I went to Russia, played in Seoul, Korea, Japan, Switzerland. I went to a lot of different. I think I went to like 13 different countries.
Wow! So college and basketball gave you the chance to see the world, pretty much, right?
Yes. Besides seeing Fresno, I got to see the world.
Yeah, and Fresno's a lot different than everybody else.
Yeah, it is, but it's home.
Yeah. So tell us, after coming back from having such an extensive career, I believe you talked about there 7 years you were out in Europe. Tell us about your experience coming back and what made you get into the field you're in now.
Well, I'll be honest. When I came back, I set out for probably like 2 years and hung around and started getting a little chubby. So I said I had to find something to do.
Right.
So I went up to Carver Middle School before it got tore down, and I asked just to volunteer. And I would go there every day from like from 11 to like 3. And the principal, Mr. Rivera, just fell in love with me and asked me if did I want to work in the district. And didn't really want to because I had a daughter. She was I think 4 at the time, so I was spending a lot of time with her, but I had to get out, and I just can't just help my daughter. I feel like helping everybody, and I had a big impact over there at Carver with a lot of kids and stuff, and I just enjoyed it, and I've been doing this for 9 years now.
Right, absolutely, and that's such a great story to share too. Friends, don't change the channel. If you'd like to see more of this interview, please visit our Facebook page, Movimiento Latino Show. Go ahead. Yeah, so tell me, when did it become official as far as becoming a Fresno Unified employee?
9 years ago.
Yeah.
I went from helping out at noontime, and I went through the classes of campus security, and they hired me, and just been doing it ever since. And ever since that school got closed, Carver, I've been over here at Sequoia for 5 years. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is different from the West Side." I said, "I don't think it's no different."
Yeah.
So,
School is
just
school,
different
kids are
colors.
kids, yeah, kids
just
are
different
kids.
colors. How you talk to them.
You know, you gotta let me ask you, there is a huge difference between someone calling you Carl Ray Harris, the athlete, and Mr. Harris. What's the difference for you as far as the kids?
It's not a difference, you know. Just as long as they show me respect, I show them respect.
So what do you think the kids take from your career and your path, and now at least being able to teach them part of that path? What do you think they take away from that?
It's hard to say, because you really don't know, because they developing now.
Right.
So, like, I had a couple of kids that I had here maybe 5 years ago that said they would never do nothing in life and never be nothing, and had a student come over here and gave me a graduation invitation. He's a Marine.
Wow.
Going to be a Marine. And he got in trouble every day here.
Yeah.
But just talking to kids, I think it helps out a lot.
That's great. Carl, what do you see in the future for you and for maybe your family?
I like this job a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm gonna be going nowhere unless they kick me out of here. But
and I don't think they're going to do that, because it was kind of funny when you and I were just talking off air, and I was talking to two of my best friends. I'm like, man, I really want to interview Carl Ray Harris. I wonder what happened to him. So I go to the convocation, President Unified, and you're on the Jumbotron, and then I'm walking in through the school, to the hallway, and there you are. It's like it was meant to be, right?
Yes, sir.
So your message, what is your great message about education and its power?
to me, you got to get an education, because if you don't, these streets are not for nobody, no kids, no adults. If you don't have an education, you'll be lost around here. It's sad to see. I go to the Poverello house. I see kids out there at age 10 out there living with parents and stuff. It's just, you got to get an education, or you're going to be stuck out here.
Yeah. And one final question before we let you go, because I know you're busy. What do you feel about giving back? About other people maybe who leave our city and are successful and maybe don't give back the way we should?
Well, if you're not giving back, that means you're selfish. You're just basically thinking about yourself. If you can't come out and go to a park and play basketball with kids like where I live at, kids find out that who I am. So I'll go out there and play with them. And you never know what kid is trying to be reached. So if you're not out there, you can't help nobody.
Yeah. And your voice and your smile could make a difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have one last message for our viewers?
Hey, parents, stay on your kids. Make sure you know what your kids doing. Those phones, the media, the MySpace, you got to stay on your kids if you care about them. Because I had a grandma that really loved me, and trust me, if it was times of the day, she'd be in jail for how many times she whooped me. But I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Carl. Thank you very much for
no
your time.
problem.
I know you're extremely busy. Folks, again, if you want to see the entire video or entire message, Carl Ray's message, please visit our Facebook page, Movimiento Latino Show. We'll see you next week. Don't change the channel.
Hello, my name is Eduardo Nunez, and I'm an 8th grader at Sequoia Middle School, and I play football. And one thing Mr. Harris influenced me by is not to get in fights, keep me on time at school, and also I know something about Harrison too is that he played for Fresno State. I like being at Sequoia Middle School.
My name is Gina Chavez. I go to Sequoia Middle School, and I'm an 8th grader. One thing that Mr. Harris does is pushes me to be a better student every day, because he makes sure that we're not late to school.